Welcome to my statistics final project. I'm Liana Noeji, a computer science major in my sophomore year, and this presentation aims to answer the question: does the happiness level of individuals affect their well-being in the UK, where well-being here covers the physical, emotional, social, spiritual, and intellectual health of an individual? In this presentation, I'll cover the introduction, research questions, methods, results, and discussion. Let's move on to the introduction. I'm sure most of us here have heard of the Bible verse that says that a cheerful heart is good medicine. Simply put, happiness can affect health. I have wondered severally if this statement is true and how beneficial it could be to us in the sense that if happiness can affect health, less resources will be spent on drugs and other things to improve one's health. This project afforded me the opportunity to finally test this theory, hence the reason for my topic: the effect of an individual's level of happiness on their well-being in the UK. Research conducted seems to be in support of this theory. The first literature says, overall, this research suggests that not only exercise, but also non-exercise physical activities related to happiness. Research suggests that non-exercise activity increases the general health of individuals. This literature brought to my attention the fact that there could be a lurking variable. For instance, physical activity that connects happiness to well-being. Another one says that happy people live longer probably because happiness protects health. This suggests that happiness does not only seem to improve health, but protects it. The last literature brought a new perspective to the research topic. It says, pursuing happiness in a proper way is likely to boost well-being, but a wrong way may bring now or even negative effects on well-being. This made me understand that happiness, depending on how one pursues it, can determine whether it will improve your well being or not. With the knowledge gained from the research, this is how I framed my research question. Does happiness in any way boost an individual's well being in the UK, regardless of their age? And the associations tested were: is happiness associated with one's own opinion of their well being in the United Kingdom? And is there an association between an individual's happiness level and their inability to perform daily tasks due to health constraints in the UK? The method section will cover the sample, measures, and inferential tests. The data sets used to test my topic is the European Social Survey Round 9, which was conducted from 2018 to 2019 by the core scientific team in about 29 countries. A strict random sampling method was used to collect data from persons aged 15 and over residents within private households. The data set was further subsetted by extracting three variables of interest, which I'll mention soon, and bringing my focus to people in the United Kingdom. The sample size for United Kingdom was 2,204. There were three variables of interest: one categorical explanatory and two categorical response variables. The explanatory variable happiness was measured using a scale of 0 to 10, but was collapsed to 0 to 5, with 0 being extremely unhappy and 5 being extremely happy. The response variables health and HLT-HHMP were measured using a scale of 1 to 5 and 1 to 3 respectively, with 1 being very good and 5 being very bad for the health variable, and 1 being yes, a lot, and 3 being no for the HLT-HHMP variable. Regarding the inferential tests, since the variables for my associations were all categorical, a chi-square test of independence was used. Below are the hypotheses for my associations. Association 1's null hypothesis reads: there is no relationship between one's level of happiness and their own opinion of their well-being. And the alternative hypothesis says there is a relationship between one's level of happiness and their own opinion of their well-being. Association two's null hypothesis says there is no relationship between one's level of happiness and their inability to perform daily tasks due to health constraints, while the alternative hypothesis says there is a relationship between one's level of happiness and their inability to perform daily tasks due to health constraints. Now, turning to the results, from the graph on the left, which focuses on the first association, we see that lower happiness level results in lower health levels. Let's take a look at those who are extremely unhappy. We can see that a good number of them reported bad health levels, but as the happiness level increases, the health level also increases. This is proven by the chi-square test, which gave us a value of 316.9, a degree of freedom of 12, and a p-value of approximately 0. Using a significance level of 0.05, it was revealed that there is an association between a British resident's level of happiness and their opinion of their health. Analyzing the graph on the right, we realize that as the happiness level of British residents increase, they believe that their disability does not hinder their daily activities. This is also supported with the chi-square test of 195.52, a degree of freedom of 10, and a p-value of approximately 0. Since the p-value is lesser than the significance level mentioned earlier, this suggests that there's also a relationship between a British resident's level of happiness and their opinion of their disability in hindering daily activities. The rejection of the null hypothesis and the presence of more than two categories of my explanatory variable led me to conduct a post hoc test, which revealed that each paired category of the explanatory variable was statistically different for both associations. Moving on to the discussion, what are the lessons learned? Overall, there is an association between the happiness level of British residents and their well being, and this could be due to some lurking variables such as physical activity, which was proposed by Lathial et al. Secondly, if happiness can affect one's well being, there's a need to research several ways to leverage on that to improve the health of the citizens or individuals. Limitations. Some questions were vague, making interpretation of the final results difficult. An example is the HLTHHMP variable. Moving on, most answers are self-reported, hence could affect the results of the associations we are testing. Moving on to the suggestions. Researchers should consider looking into lurking variables, which may be the reason behind the association that exists between happiness and well-being. And finally, researchers should look into the various forms of happiness that is causing associations to exist between happiness and well-being. These are my references. Thank you very much for listening to the presentation.